I'm Symphony Privet, and thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. Let's start off in Arkansas, where a dog went out for a walk and didn't come back. The owner was left worried for hours until good news came from 200 miles away. But the story doesn't end there. Joe Ellison explains.
Hey, okay, thank you. I'm aware that's in there. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Lisa Wood lives in Missouri, and last weekend she let her 3 dogs outside. That night, only 2 came back. 13-year-old Captain was nowhere to be found until about 24 hours later when she got a call from Bentonville Animal Services.
Do you have a dog named Captain? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I have him here in Bentonville, I believe, Arkansas. And I'm like, where's that?
Thankfully, Captain had a microchip, so they were able to track Lisa down, but she couldn't make the hours-long trip. That's where Best Friends Animal Society in Bentonville stepped in. They loaded up Captain and drove him back home to Missouri.
Had he not had it, I mean, he would have never come home.
Those with Best Friends say it's a common situation. 1 in 3 pets go missing or get lost in their lifetime. That's why they say it's important to get your pet microchipped. So how did Captain get 200 miles from home?
And so I knew that he couldn't have gotten there by himself. 1, because he's almost 14 years old in October, and 2, he has pretty bad arthritis.
Staff say a woman in Missouri picked him up. She thought he was lost and tried to help. Though it took him even further from his home, it was the microchip that brought him back.
If you want any chance of getting your animal back, that's the only chance.
That was Joe Ellison reporting. Now to a family gathering 60 years in the making. A woman says she spent most of her life looking for her birth mother in Iowa. Emma Bucher tells us how a DNA test unlocked the answers she had been searching for and so much more.
The process started, I've always been looking for my mother. My parents told me when I was 8 years old that I was adopted.
Ann Anderson, adopted at just 8 days old.
From my 9th birthday on, I always thought about my mom. You know, where is she, what's she like?
Born and raised in Moline, she spent her whole life wondering where her birth family was.
I felt like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
Ann learned her siblings lived in Davenport her whole life.
You know, they were right here the whole time.
A 23andMe test connected her with a first cousin early this year, revealing a family larger than she could have ever dreamed of.
I was nervous. I was very nervous because I didn't know that they were searching for me. But I gained 5 siblings. Thanks, Mom. You're awesome.
Meeting them for the first time Saturday.
I have a family now.
Under unfortunate circumstances. Her brother Jeff's funeral.
And he was really wanting to meet me. He tried to hang on. I was like, 5 more days, dude. But he was in a lot of pain. So, you know, wishing for that is selfish.
Her siblings saying their mom told them all about Ann growing up, and she spent her life searching for her daughter.
I was ecstatic when I found out, because I knew how much my mom wanted her, for us to meet her, I guess, what I should say. I was scared and sad because Mom wasn't able to meet her.
Yeah, I was sad about that too. But she left behind siblings.
Yes, she left you a big family.
Mom would be proud.
Oh God, Mom would be proud. She's probably like, I wanted to hug her.
I know, but I've got you guys.
You do.
In Davenport, Emma Bucher.
And as if it couldn't get any better, Ann says she plans to move closer to her siblings as soon as possible so she can spend the rest of her life with them. I'm glad that one had a happy ending. A Virginia man runs nearly every day, but there is one thing he never forgets to carry with him. Sean Martinelli shares how he's inspiring his community with a simple but powerful gesture.
Nearly every afternoon in the community of Bristow, Virginia, long before the fall of night, we found a man who still sprints under the stars.
I don't even know if he lives around here, but I suppose he does.
And you don't know any of the reason why he carries the flag?
I do not.
We managed to get the guy who's always on the run to sit. His name is James Stanley.
As long as I can, yeah. I'll do it in a wheelchair, I don't care.
It means that much to you.
Absolutely.
10 years ago, James's father passed away. At the time, James was not a runner.
Told my wife, hey, my dad's gone. I think I'm gonna go for a run. At the time, it was just a way to not think about it. And I don't know why that was my response at the time, but I think maybe it was his gift to me.
At first, James ran with his hands empty. Then this Navy construction mechanic entered a Veterans Day race.
The member who was gonna carry the flag didn't show up. So the guy asked if I would do it. I said, sure.
James picked the flag up and has yet to put it down. He started running after the passing of his father. Now he keeps running for his brothers and sisters, those in uniform who serve and don't come home.
You think about them on every run?
Absolutely. It's really easy with that flag, I tell you.
I think it's something that touches everybody a different, in their own way.
Kathy Coburn is a friend and a fellow runner.
They're like a highlight of the folks in this area when they see James running up the street.
Strangers like Gary Elias.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran, so I feel for what he's doing.
Even without words, without ever meeting.
Nope.
James never fully understood the impact until he was approached by a neighbor who lost his father.
He stops me. He says, man, I don't know why, but I was just praying that I would see you out here today. I would have never thought, like, just some guy running with a flag really pulled him through losing his dad.
What that neighbor didn't know.
That race weekend was my dad's 10th anniversary.
Could you have imagined when you started the impact that you would have?
Not even close. Realize that every little thing that you do really does matter. No matter how small, that it's going to change somebody's day.
Like how lifting a flag can uplift a community.
That was Sean Martinelli reporting. Now, there was a beautiful sound that is evoking change in Pennsylvania. This piano you see here sits outside for anyone to play. Gabrielle Mediak shows us how the keys are helping the community embrace their own creativity.
We're just so excited that it's now out here in public and getting a lot of attention.
In the heart of Lancaster City, this bright painted piano sits quietly on Vine Street, but the impact it's making on the community is loud.
Restored to be Restorers is all about change and transformation. And our guests are on a very intentional journey in our residential program to make changes in their lives.
It was designed and brought to life by the Water Street Missions residential program, which helps people who are experiencing homelessness.
A guest in the art studio was working on a beautiful sketch of a butterfly, and then it all came together.
The Music for Everyone program and the Water Street Studio offer anyone an outlet to get creative.
Base of the piano is a scene of a woodland, very peaceful scene with trees growing up to the top, and that's where the life cycle of the butterfly is shown.
And a space to be vulnerable.
It's not just what's on the canvas or the piano. It's about how it makes others feel.
Those involved say the piano carries much more than just music. It shares a story of transformation.
Breaking through barriers, of realizing abilities that may have gone untapped and laying dormant for a long, long time. A lot like a caterpillar in a chrysalis.
And they hope it'll inspire others to embrace their own creativity and to explore new opportunities.
They're learning more about themselves, learning to take risks, learning to come up with creative ideas, and that creates a new sense of purpose.
That was Gabriella Mediak reporting. We have more for you ahead on Featured. Here's a peek at what's coming up. A librarian is sharing her large book collection, why she says access to the stories matter. Plus, not all business is about making a profit. We visit a thrift store that is offering more than a bargain. Welcome back. We're now checking out a library that started off small, but today it holds more than 1,500 books. Jillian Taylor takes us to Tennessee to show us how every page uplifts the voices of the LGBTQ+ community.
It's okay to be different, right?
The Rainbow Library is a collection of books by and about queer voices. It started as a pandemic project, just 50 books inside South Press Coffee. Now, the collection's grown to more than 1,500.
I started accumulating all of these books around my house, and I thought, these books aren't doing me or anyone else any good just sitting in my house. I had already read them, and so I thought, why not start a community library?
Donna Brown is the founder. By day, she's a librarian at the University of Tennessee with a master's degree in library science. She knows how important it is to find that book, the one that feels like looking into a kinder mirror.
That book for me, and I'm dating myself a little bit, was called Coming Out Stories. And I got to see that other people went through the exact same things that I was going through. They were feeling the same things, and that I could get through it.
She says access to these kinds of stories matters, especially now. Across East Tennessee, hundreds of books have been removed from school libraries under the state's Age-Appropriate Materials Act, a law that restricts content dealing with sexuality, violence, and abuse.
Hopefully, we're providing books that will be that person's one book that will change their lives and impact them forever. For younger queer people who are trying to figure out their identity, if they can see themselves reflected in positive ways through books, I think that that's just really wonderful.
In Knoxville, I'm Jillian Taylor.
Shoppers in Texas are getting low prices while supporting a great cause. Robert De La Garza takes us to a thrift store that is leading by faith and not money.
Station Thrift in Palestine is not your average secondhand shop. They're turning clothes into a cause.
So it's a combination of both a resource for clients to come in and get free or affordable clothing or shoes or other essentials.
It's a win-win. Shoppers get a great deal and their money goes towards something way bigger than a bargain.
So it's a fun way for them to get involved and give monetarily to the ministry by shopping or donating with us here.
Station Thrift Director Lucas Sheely says all proceeds from the shop go directly to their partners at Hope Station.
We want to not just make money for the ministry, but we want to do business in such a way that God is honored by it.
They've helped people navigate homelessness and grow in faith for over a decade.
Our vision is that we want to see communities rid of poverty and filled with the hope of the gospel.
Executive Director at Hope Station, Jacob Randall, says last year alone the ministry served over 600 people, a number that has been climbing since the pandemic.
Every penny that you spend there goes directly to helping people in ministry. So your donations that come in, your things that you buy, all of it encompassing is good.
People in the program can even shop for free with a voucher. Think of it like a personal shopping spree, but skip the checkout. But they don't stop at the clothes. The store also provides real-world job training, employment, and a paycheck, helping them get back on their feet and into the workforce.
To help build the framework and the groundwork for when they're out on their own again, that they can be responsible with those resources that they've been given.
So next time you go thrifting, perhaps do it with a purpose.
That was Robert De La Garza reporting. A small town in Minnesota is investing in the future of its youth. For more than 3 decades, every graduating high school senior received a scholarship. Boyd Hubert talks to past recipients about why it's not about the money, but who it comes from.
Lily Peterson, the University of Mary. Ingrid Meza, Southwest Minnesota State University.
Zach Kopinski, Minnesota State University, Mankato.
Every high school senior you're meeting.
Trevor Hansen, Central Lakes College, Staples.
Is about to receive a scholarship.
Abigail Morris, Winona State.
To help pay for these schools.
Hunter Moore, SMSU.
A gift from Swanville.
Therese Bryce, St. Cloud Tech.
There. Hometown.
A lot of adventures together.
Former principal Chris Dunshee and former gas station owner Royal Loven brainstormed the idea in 1987.
We'll put a big billboard outside of town on the highway that says, come to Swanville School. We give every student that graduates a scholarship.
The billboard never materialized.
Didn't have to. Didn't have to.
But in a rural town that couldn't fill a suburban school auditorium,
Ethan Wimmer, St. John's University.
the scholarship stuck.
Autumn Hinton, St. Cloud State.
Swanville started small.
Emma Krosky, St. Catherine University.
Average scholarship that first year, $166.
Brittany Johnson, UMD.
Brittany Johnson, class of 01,
Right here.
received the same amount
It's right here.
as her husband.
$500 is what I got. It's not even the money. It was just who it was coming from.
Brittany and Brian are now scholarship donors. Seems like everyone in Swanville is.
Swanville is just a really special place.
Chili cook-offs, calendars, cheese curds, poinsettias, waffles, bingo, and pull tabs. Swanville has sold everything but its historic water tower to raise money for scholarships.
Carter Preby, North Central University.
Which has allowed the scholarships
Isaac Van Zee, Alex Tech.
to keep growing. This year's average, $5,142. Teresa Giese is president of Swanville's Dollars for Scholars.
The goal is to support whatever's next for kids.
Jerica Rary, Model College of Hair Design, St. Cloud.
If you are taking a break year and you apply, we'll still allocate money to you.
Lakeisha Cool, Undecided.
If you go into the military, when you're done with that, we'll give you your money then.
Zachariah Johnson, Southwest Minnesota State University.
This year, for the first time, we're supporting someone with special needs going on to continued life skills.
Chloe Tepley, Mid-State.
There's
Sahara Milner, U of M, Twin Cities.
is the
Caden Beesman, Undecided.
38th class.
To me, it's just this community saying, like, go be great, go do something cool and make a difference in the world.
That was Boyd Hubert reporting. Time for a quick break, but first, let's check out what's coming up ahead. A positive transformation from inmate to role model. We'll show you what inspired an ex-felon to make a 180-degree turn. He shares the exact moment that sparked the change. Plus, a giant hot dog. Look at that, racking up views on social media. We hear from the owner who's turning heads on and out of the water. Welcome back. We are diving into what's trending on social media now. Now, you've probably heard of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, but I bet you haven't seen anything like this. One man in Northwest Idaho has turned heads and has gone viral. Mike Polk Jr. hit the water to check it out.
When Bigfoot was sighted in Richland County, I was there. When I found out that the world's largest troll dog collection was in Amherst, I was there. So when social media recently went abuzz with mysterious sightings of a hot dog-shaped marine craft, I was on my way to Napoleon, Ohio to see the seaworthy sausage for myself.
I gotta tell you, Connor, I'm impressed. I came here to see a hot dog boat, and darned if that is not a hot dog boat.
It is definitely unique.
I met the vessel's owner, Connor Sonnenberg, at his workspace, where he refurbished the nautical knockwurst.
We call it the Edmund Glitzgerald.
You are really tempting the fates with that name.
Try not to repeat history on this one.
What is the original source of the hot dog boat?
So it was built in 1975 in Sacramento, California. It was built as a promotional item, so it was never titled, never registered, so I had to go through that whole process with the state to be able to get, registration and make it legal, but it was pretty easy, so it wasn't too bad.
No one gave you any pushback when you told them that I have a hot dog-shaped boat?
I'm struggling to get insurance on it. Structurally, it needed a lot of love. Beefed everything up, repainted it, did some body work. We've got a few things to tweak yet, but it's getting pretty close.
Do you have a significant other?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
How did you explain to your significant other that you're gonna be devoting so much time to fixing up a hot dog boat?
She's been great about it. It was her dad that found the boat, so she was pretty upset with him because she knew that it was going to take up quite a bit of my time.
This is Sonnenberg's first time refurbishing a tube meat-themed watercraft, but his training has prepared him for this day.
The business that I own is called CS Coated. We do anything aftermarket marine, but our specialty is gel coat and paint correction. Like, this is the most viral I've ever had something that I've built go.
Has anybody requested a similar boat from you since they've seen this one?
Not yet, no. We haven't had any requests for hot dogs. We have had a lot of hot dog companies and people that own like hot dog stands and things like that reach out and ask if I'll sell it, and right now I'm not going to.
So is there any chance maybe I can convince you to, show this thing off on the water?
I think we got to put it on the water.
It was just a short drive from the garage to Maumee, where Connor disembarked on his latest majestic voyage. It was even more magnificent in person than I would have dreamed.
How's she handling?
Not too bad. The waves aren't too bad today. We're in good shape.
Wow, it's really something when it's coming at you like this.
Yeah, it is. It sits pretty decent in the water, all things considered.
It was built to be a spectacle in a state fair, I believe.
It is definitely a spectacle.
Well, young man, she certainly is a beaut, and she really can fly. Congratulations. I declare this wiener seaworthy.
Gosh. That was Mike Polk Jr. reporting, and that is a wrap on what's trending. Here's a look at what you can expect straight ahead. Now, if the Walk of the Living Dead ever becomes a reality, boy, I hope not. There's one city in the U.S. that's best prepared. We'll show you what a recent study says about surviving a zombie apocalypse. Plus, a backyard ball fields built for grandkids. It's now fueling a nationwide mission to fight Alzheimer's. We'll show you how one man is pushing to turn a small town tournament into something much bigger. Thank you for staying with us here on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you uplifting stories across the country. There is a man in St. Louis whose name used to mean trouble, but not anymore. He went from going in and out of prison to mentoring young men. Mike Bush tells us how one decision sparked a chain reaction of positive changes in his life.
Always good to see you, Mr.
No doubt,
Yes,
no
sir,
doubt.
yes.
At a St. Louis barbershop, the cuts are close and the connections closer.
Barbershop always have been our sacred place, man.
But today, it's not just a fresh cut these men are leaving with. It's a challenge and maybe a second chance.
How's everybody doing? What's up, brothers? How's everybody doing?
Because sitting in the center of it all is Reginald Slaughter.
It's hard, man. It is really hard.
A man once known for trouble, now better known for turning it around.
He became highly aware that he needed to make a change, and he began to walk in that change and make a difference.
How you doing? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Reginald Slaughter's second chance didn't come in a flash. It came in the silence that follows heartbreak.
The second time I was in prison, I lost my mother, who always believed that I could do something more than go to prison. So it flipped the script in something in me.
He served time for selling drugs, but the harder part came after getting out. He wanted to be in his daughter's life, but her mother wasn't so sure.
I was still a little rough around the edges. I had, in the streets, so she didn't want no parts of that, right?
You do not know what to expect from one day to the next.
That's when he heard about a 6-week parenting program at the Fathers and Family Support Center.
What about the people that's in your life?
What he thought would teach him how to be a better dad ended up teaching him how to be a better person.
They talk to you about your childhood, who raised you, your relationship with your mother, your relationship with your father, the lessons you learned, what it is to be a man.
It didn't just change his outlook, it changed his outcome.
When people change.
Because once Reginald stopped running from his past, he started walking toward his purpose.
He was willing to be a responsible man in the community. He was willing to work on himself and continue to grow.
He went from student to volunteer to full-time employee. He's now the support center's community outreach coordinator. And with new recruits, his criminal record isn't a liability, It's his credential.
Hey man, I'm an ex-felon. The program was created by an ex-felon. But you're a father most of all, and that's important.
It's how he reached Marvin Davis, a young man drifting who only needed someone to draw a line.
It's his loyalty, it's his dedication, and it's his spirit on the community, and plus being an active father.
Marvin went through the program, rebuilt his life. He's now a full-time dad and makes a living making people laugh as a full-time comedian.
She said, Father God, bless his license plates, that when the police get behind him, allow the letters to scramble.
Marvin's set ends with laughter.
I said, Pastor, I still need my gas money.
But his story started with someone who believed in him.
He's one of my mentors. He is one of my mentors.
How the children doing, man?
Children are doing good, getting bigger.
These days, Mr. Slaughter in the Streets, as he's known, hopes to lift men up, not lead them astray.
Hey, brother, have you heard about Father Support Center, man?
He's not trying to outrun his past. He's rewriting it.
That's the greatest feeling in the world for me. I have a life that's really productive in my own community that I once was a problem in, and now I'm a part of the solution. He said the best barbershop in the city, baby. I said, okay.
The best barbershops offer more than a cut. They offer wisdom.
We got to do it because we men and human beings that love our children.
And on this day, it was delivered by a man who proves every day that your worst chapter doesn't have to be your last.
Wow, great story from Mike Bush. Alrighty, now to North Carolina, where teens are putting down guns and picking up boxing gloves. Siobhan Riley shows us how a boxing coach is teaching them to punch out juvenile crime.
Here at Charlotte Boxing Academy, students are taught to fight with their boxing gloves and put down the guns. One student I spoke with said this program is making a huge impact.
Roll. Catch.
Coach Sean Jackson is teaching students how to fight crime with boxing gloves.
Slip, roll, 2, 3, 2.
You can actually come somewhere and you can learn a skill that you can transfer over to your life because you'll get discipline, you'll get love, you'll get correction.
12-year-old Jeremiah Brown comes to Charlotte Boxing Academy in West Charlotte, where students like himself say the training teaches leadership and self-discipline.
Just staying out of trouble and just keeping them managing their anger issues and all that. And this sport is to take it out and boxing.
Come on, you got it.
Jackson started coaching because of the impact it had on his life. The biggest lesson he wants students to learn is how one bad decision can change everything.
And I saw a lot of my friends get caught in the lifestyle of guns and drugs, but this, along with my family and my relationship with church and God, that kind of helped to steer me in a path where it kept me out of those things. Good? Ain't too tight, is it?
He believes this program is one solution to fighting violence in a community where even some of the kids he coached were impacted by gun violence.
Some of them that actually didn't get shot or killed, but got caught up in gun and gang violence. So it saddens us because we still try to go to the prison sometime and visit them.
The nonprofit develops competitive amateur boxers. 2 boxers went on to earn the Youth World Champion titles. Brown says having mentors he can look up to is helping him get one step closer to reaching his goal.
Y'all gonna see me in a few years, being on the big stage, a world champion one day, and a Hall of Fame.
Double those up, double them up.
That was Siobhan Riley reporting. A grandfather in Arkansas knows his way around baseball fields. Check this out. He founded a Little League tournament to give kids a space to play. But as Darren Bob explains, the game is now taking on a new meaning.
I intend to create a foundation whose sole mission is to have one of these tournaments in every state of the union.
10 years ago, Sam Peroni turned his backyard into a literal field of dreams so his grandchildren could have a place to play ball. Fast forward to today, it's become one of the most popular Little League tournaments in this area, with all proceeds going to Alzheimer's research in honor of his wife, Pat.
We do a great job with this little tournament doing that. People are very generous, and but we raise money from the concessions, from T-shirts, and from individual contributions. People that come here, they just put money in a little canister, and we're able to exceed our goals every year.
He says the effort to go national will start out with just a handful of people.
My idea is to send ambassadors who are experienced in this tournament to try to help people in other states set up a tournament, just one. And you know, we'll need to have contacts and people that are very enthusiastic about it. But the idea is for them to have it around the same time every year so that eventually all these tournaments happen at the same time every year with the goal of raising $1 million a year for Alzheimer's research.
Perrone says the idea of taking this concept to other states began last year, but really got kicked into high gear after his wife passed away in May from Alzheimer's.
We have such a tremendous following, and we do so well with this tournament. And the volunteers, I have so many volunteers that help me with it. And so I knew it was something special. And then doing all that to raise money for a great cause to eliminate the cruelest disease on the planet.
And that was Darren Bob reporting. A man in Idaho is getting set for the opportunity of a lifetime. He will go overseas to represent the United States in the Foosball World Cup. Brady Frederick shows us how he's getting ready for the international competition.
This is what foosball players call their dojo. There's many of the high caliber players in the U.S. They'll have something like this, and in other parts of the world.
This is Michael Veit.
This is my dojo. This is a place we practice our craft, our skill, our sport.
He's been playing foosball for decades, but things really ramped up when he retired, having time to push himself against top-tier competition around the country.
Las Vegas is always a very big tournament.
With his background as an engineer, he also refurbishes balls.
I'm known nationally in the U.S. at least that I am the ball guy.
Using an array of tools to perfect the bounce, weight, and finish.
So I say Boise Foos Works, saving the planet one ball at a time.
But the crown jewel of the dojo has to be his collection of tables. He has 4.
Official weight and size and lights and everything.
Different countries have different standard playing surfaces.
These men are metal and the other ones are plastic.
And as he pursues international play, he needs to be ready for anything.
The Germans play on this table, so if I play somebody from Germany, we'll be playing on this table.
But what does an elite class foosball player look like in action?
I don't want you to hold back on me here.
There was only one way to find out.
I want the real experience.
Set.
Oh man, we're off to a bad start. Oh no!
The immediate skill gap stood out in his power.
It's tough to get used to that speed.
But the precision was most impressive. The ball went exactly where he wanted it to, whether passing or taking shots on goal.
Oh, lucky shot.
But finally, a glimmer of hope.
Oh,
let's go! The comeback is on, baby!
Yeah!
But the comeback was not on. In the end, that was my lone point, getting swept in a best-of-3 match. Michael was nice enough to say that I had talent.
You're natural.
Or at least potential.
You're too kind to say that.
And if I wanted to keep trying, I knew where to find him. Every Tuesday, he and his foosball friends battle it out at Q's Billiards and Eatery. They welcome players of all levels, looking to grow the game in Boise and grow their own game.
Call it the infinity game in a way. It's a never-ending journey. You can get really good at one kind of thing and then different things and different things. It's a continual process. You can't just do the same thing all the time. You have to continue to learn. If you want to get better, you have to keep on growing and learning.
It's a foundation of support, a chance to face off with players of different styles, helping them all improve.
It's like an extended family, basically. You always want your family to do good, and if someone does great, you feel like a certain pride in that.
And this group is proud of Michael. He's headed to Spain, one of 98 Americans who has qualified for the Foosball World Cup. A dream opportunity and a chance to represent.
You know, I'm representing myself. Yes, I know that. My family, my wife. So I'm representing my foosball community here. My state in a way, and certainly I'm representing my country. And frankly, I get a little bit emotional about it. So really grateful for this opportunity to be able to do that, and grateful that God has given me this opportunity. And my stage in life affords me the ability to prepare for it and to be ready to go and play.
That was Brady Frederick reporting. Now, don't go too far. We are taking a short break, but here's a look at what's coming up next. Doctor, you see what we did there? Doctor on duty. We joined a medical dog at the hospital, and we'll show you how he's helping young patients during treatment. Plus, check out a bear uniform. A lot of chatter on this. We'll tell you why wildlife employees say it is crucial to put on the costume while caring for an orphaned cub. Welcome back. There is a new MD on staff over at a children's hospital in Colorado. He comes highly trained with a very special set of skills, as long as you can forgive the occasional drooling, that is. Jennifer Meckles takes us inside the hospital.
Inside the halls of Children's Hospital Colorado. You never know who might be coming around the corner.
I was just kind of like in my hospital room, and they asked, "Do you want to see a dog?" And I'm like, "There's dogs here?"
That's when 10-year-old Garrett Rodriguez met his new MD, medical dog.
This is Saunders.
Excuse me, Dogter Saunders.
Sometimes when he sees me, he kind of like jumps up and kind of runs to me.
2-year-old Saunders joined Children's this year, one of 8 medical dogs now on staff. Saunders spends his time with patients like Garrett, battling cancer and blood disorders.
It's really nice that they have things here to calm you down, because it can be hard to talk.
Our goal is to support patients coping while they're here in the hospital.
Saunders' human partner, Reagan, says the medical dogs are trained to help decrease stress and anxiety, supporting patients through tough conversations, medical procedures, even recovery.
Something I've noticed about Saunders is he's very perceptive into how a patient and a family are feeling. I feel like he's really good about understanding when someone is especially having a hard day and meeting them where they're at, giving them a little extra love.
Garrett is a long way from home in Wyoming. Saunders helps him pass the days.
It kind of makes me feel kind of better.
I'm sure a doctor Sanders gives out a lot of prescriptions for snuggles. I love that story. That was Jennifer Meckles reporting. All right, on to another animal now. A bear cub in California was found weak, underweight, and alone. Look at that little baby. The baby is now in the care of the San Diego Humane Society, where employees are dressing up in bear suits to raise the little one. Shannon Handy explains.
Every bear cub needs its mom, or in this case, someone who looks like her. It's one of many tasks you'll find employees at San Diego Humane Society's Project Wildlife doing every day, dressing as bears to ensure this 3-month-old is receiving the same type of care he would in the wild.
For him, it was important that he looked at us as bears and not as humans. So we actually bought masks and we donned fur coats that people donate to us.
Just behind here is the cub's outdoor enclosure. The reason I'm whispering is because it's crucial to make his environment natural. That means eliminating as much human interaction as possible.
It's important when they're in rehab that they stay wild.
Campers first discovered the bear on April 12th in Los Padres National Forest. He weighed just 3 pounds and was frail and dehydrated. After monitoring him for hours and confirming he was alone, they brought the bear to their camp hosts, who contacted the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. They in turn released him to the wild overnight, hoping his mom would come back. When she didn't, he was brought here.
Nobody knows what happened, how he got separated, but at that age, they would be totally dependent upon their moms.
Initially, the cub needed 24-hour care, including overnight bottle feedings. Employees have also been teaching him how to climb a tree, build a nest, and search for food.
When we are teaching him these various milestones that he would be reaching with mom, we are physically doing those activities with him. So when we bring in a big tub of dirt with hidden insects in there, we will dig through it to kind of show him what to do.
They've even left stuffed bears in his enclosure to make him feel more at home. The cub is responding well and now weighs 13 pounds. As for a name, he doesn't have one. Project Wildlife doesn't normally name animals in their care as a way to prevent attachment in hopes they won't be here for long.
We'd much rather release him back to where he came from.
Oh my goodness, that was Shannon Handy reporting. All right, check this out. It's a tour for feline fans in Minnesota. Hundreds of folks came together to say hello to their little cat neighbors. Jana Shortall takes us to the annual celebration.
What do you want to see? Yeah! Do you want to see them? Yeah! Look! Yeah! This is why we
It's like, what is that?
Oh, that's good of you. Of course. I really got into the spirit and I dressed up. We are really enjoying it so far. Cat paradise. Yeah, cat paradise.
Yeah, she's media trained.
You can pet her.
You can pet her. She's very friendly.
Hi, Rutabaga. I want to just cuddle the cat forever. Same with me here. I can go on like this forever.
Well, I can't say I've ever come across a cat neighborhood tour. And that was Jana Shortall reporting. Coming up next.
What do you think Fort Worth was named the best city in America for?
Architecture?
Rodeo, the historical landmarks.
Okay, well, we reveal the correct answer up next, and we'll tell you why you want to listen up, even if you don't live in Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome back. Okay, listen to this one. A recent study revealed which city would best escape a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, although this might seem like something straight out of a movie, Sean Giggy explains how real research and science went into finding the answer.
Yes, Fort Worth is the best. But even if I told you this honor was tied to the city's infrastructure, you'd have no idea what road I'm about to go down. And if I told you Cutting Edge Haunted House is helping unmask this story, you still won't see it coming.
What do you think Fort Worth was named the best city in America for?
Architecture? Rodeo, the historical landmarks.
The greenery?
Best cowboys, rodeos, I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Ugly looking people, scary looking people.
Are you calling me ugly? Is this ugly?
Fort Worth was recently named the best city in America to survive a zombie apocalypse.
That is very interesting. I don't believe it.
Okay, but there's research to prove it. It was gathered by Excavator Parts Direct, an excavator parts supplier. Because Fort Worth isn't overcrowded, it's easy to get around, but it's even easier to get out. Compared to other big cities, Fort Worth's roads are in great shape and they're less congested. Throw in some nearby state parks and you've got all you need for a great escape. But Officer Buddy Calzada with Fort Worth PD says there are other ways to fight back.
You know, we use our weapons for zombie elimination.
Okay, but what if you don't have zombie elimination weapons?
You're gonna know that we're under a zombie alert because of the green lights that we're utilizing. If it ever came to reality, Fort Worth Police Department's prepared. It's that simple.
Rest assured, if all hell breaks loose, Cowtown is the place to be.
And it does not surprise me that Fort Worth, Texas is #1 again.
Live from Fort Worth, dead from Fort Worth, I'm Sean Giggy.
Oh boy, something to think about. Alrighty, that is it for Featured. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, make it a great one.